recording is.
Thank you, Javed sir. Ma'am, I'm making, I'm enabling multiple participants for sharing, so you can also share your screen. And are you ready, ma'am?
Are you doing a short introduction or shall I just start?
Oh, once you are ready, we'll start now.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Again, for the invitation. Thank you, dear Mina Lama, for organizing and moderating this talk today. Thank you especially, Muhammad Akhtar Shafet, for the wonderful initiative of the ICOM Family Forum. I'm very honored to be here today. It's to tell you a little thing about ICOM Austria and what we're doing here. And I prepared a very short presentation just to give you a few pictures and a little bit impression of what we're doing. So let me just share this with you in a second. There we go.
Ma'am, can we take a few moments before we start with your presentation? Okay, thank you, ma'am. So, right. I just wanted to invite everybody, greet everyone before we start. Welcome to the International Virtual Conference on Museums, ICOM. Today is Thursday, February 17, 2022, and it's an honor to welcome you all in this informal talk show. My name is Mina Lama. I'm a member of ICOM Nepal and moderator for this informal talk show. So today we have, honorable guest speaker, Ms. Elke Kellner from Austria. So she is the managing director of ICOM Austria, and today she will be sharing us about ICOM Austria and the works that are being done by the ICOM Austria. While talking about Ms. Elke, she has MA in art history and archaeology from the University of Vienna, Austria, and Yale University, USA, respectively. She has been the managing director of ICOM Austria National Committee since 2014, and has become the board member of Blue Shield Austria in 2014, and a board member of ICOM Europe in 2019. Well, besides this, she has initiated a series of ICOM Palmer talks to support the fight against looting and illicit trafficking of cultural goods, and is expert for the OSCE in that field. So, without further ado, let us go with the presentation that Ms. Elke has prepared for us. Ma'am, we can begin.
So thank you so much for the nice introduction, the kind words. I'm very happy to be with you today. And as promised, I will give you a brief input about what we're doing in ICOM Austria, also relating to our international partners. So museums are the bridges between people and cultures. Museums promote participation and diversity. So you can see the nice quote of our president, Alberto Galandini, about the role how museums are changing today. It's a very important goal of ICOM Austria to cooperate internationally and to promote public awareness about the important role museums have in our society today. Our mission is to save cultural heritage and to support our international know-how transfer. And that's why I'm so happy to be with you today to get in touch with as many as international committees as possible. So our president in Austria, ICOM Austria today, is Bettina Leidl. She has put a focus on the environmental challenges we face in our times. So this is a very important topic. And we have initiated a project to put the UN sustainability goals, the SDGs, in the center of our agenda last year. So we nominated 17 museums in Austria, and every one of those 17 museums got one of the sustainability goals, and they were all developing projects. At first, we initiated some online workshops with all the museums and the teams that were involved. It was very diverse teams. They got to know each other. The museum started to work together on different projects. And then in the autumn, every one of the museums realized their projects in a different field. So that this was a very, very exciting project for us. We had the federal ministry to support us, and we had very, very good responses from the museums all over. So you see all the different goals that were, every museum had a special goal, and they were thinking about what to do with those goals, what kind of initiatives can we put forward, how does these SDG goals affect us, what can we do with our visitors. So there were many, many, many different projects, and we'll try to put them together next year or this year even in a publication for us to document all the work that has been done, and maybe can be some inspiration for other committees or other countries how to work with the UN sustainability goals successfully. So we were also in touch with the ICOM working group on sustainability. I think this is also a very important initiative, and I hope to hear about that a little more when we get together in Prague. So this will be exciting. Of course, the whole COVID-19 pandemic affected us as everybody in the world, I guess. It had a massive impact on the cultural sector, and the supporting role of museums in shaping and developing our society became very, very evident, I think, in those hard times of crisis. So we have to think about how we can contribute to a sustainable social transformation, to communicate it broadly in an effective way, and to support sustainability to save our world or environment. And the responsibilities of museums in that part really, really expanded, I think, in the last 2 years. And still, of course, the care of our collections and is still at the center of our responsibility. So those different tasks go very good together, I think. And from the knowledge of the past, we can share a lot about what are the problems today and what can we learn from the past for the goals of the future. So I think this is very important. And so museums are particularly responsible to safeguard their collections, of course. And last year, you in Austria, at least in Europe, you see the effects of the climate crisis already. We had severe floodings in Germany, very, very bad thunderstorms in Czechia. So I just brought you some pictures there. It was pretty wild. And in Austria, there is a European project situated that's called Strength, to strengthen resilience to protect cultural heritage at risk. And there are many initiatives put forward to better monitor flooding levels, to assess the risk of heritage sites, UNESCO heritage sites, museums, archaeological sites, whatever. We work together with our neighboring countries here, especially with Italy, Czechia, Hungary, Slovenia, Germany, Croatia, and Austria is taking part, and try to put all kinds of measures forward to be ready for catastrophes of that kind. So in Austria, we also initiated the emergency plaque. So you can mark objects in your museum depots that in case of emergency need to be evacuated with priority. So just the most important objects that they can be carried by 2 people. They must not be too heavy, of course, and they have to fit through the doors. So that's very basic requirements, but often, you know, the fire brigades, the police, the military, they don't know exactly what to do, what objects are important. And so we mark the most important objects with that sign to have it internationally recognizable. So everything can be acted like very fast in case of emergency. We also had exercises for evacuations with our armed forces, with the police at the Stift Melk, which is a heritage site in Lower Austria, pretty close to Vienna. So we performed those evacuation tasks. And of course, on the bigger international field, you mentioned the ICOM Palmyra talks. We try to raise awareness in the fight of safeguarding heritage and fight against illicit trafficking and looting internationally, of course, on the big fields of crisis, like in Syria, in Libya, but also in very different countries where just illegal looting is going on and there's no terrorist hazard, of course. So some of the Austrian museums, here you see the Kunsthistorische Museum, like the very, very big art tanker here in the center of Vienna. And they also put forward their resources. If objects like those 2 Roman heads you see are confiscated by the police, they are now stored in the museum until they can be given back to the rightful owners, to the countries where they came from, or to maybe the museum they come from, if we can find out whom they belong to. So this is one of the things. And from our colonial past, we discussed that also in 2 workshops, 2019, and started to do that together with the ministry to look forward also to analyze our collections in Austria to see if there are objects with a colonial context that maybe came here illegally, or objects that, where there are problems maybe with a violent history, how they came into our collections. And we'll be working on that. We have a publication about the first workshops we had. This is in German and English, and we'll now next year work upon guidelines for the Austrian museum community, how to discuss and treat objects that might have a colonial past. So we initiate a working group of museum people that will discuss those questions. And I think this is a very important international task that we talk about those questions. And I'm very much looking forward to that. So I just wanted to give you a very brief overview. You can visit us online. We are on Facebook and Instagram also. So feel free to ask any questions, and thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Well, you know, it was a very, very beautiful and insightful presentation. We came to know a lot about, you know, what the work of ICOM Austria is. Well, you know, before we start with the major question and answering sessions, I would like to know a few things about, you know, a few of the presentation slides. So you said that there are 17 museums which were selected for the SDG project, right? So, like, do you have any criteria for selection of these museums?
Yes, we selected all different sizes. So we were made sure that we have the very big museum tankers, the big museums, but also city and town museums and some regional small museums to have like a good balance there. And also from the kind of collections, we had some art museums, we had city history museums, we had museums for natural history, so also to differentiate. But the UN sustainability goals they were given to them by chance. So they couldn't choose ones, but we had a big lottery, and they were just pulled out of the bag and were given to the museum by chance.
So, Ms. Elke, do you think that, the museums right now, they are capable of collaborating these SDG goals with their ongoing projects? Do you think they are ready for this?
Yes, I think that they at first they had to even get to know the SDGs. No, not everyone involved in the processes knows them that well. So that was the first task in our workshops, to work with the teams to explain about the SDGs, to also explain the whole broad and bandwidth of those goals that can be interpreted very broadly. And I think it's also explanation done, especially for the museum field. So you can discuss about that and find your own approach to those goals. And I think that was very important. And then they slowly thought about how does that affect our museum? What can we do? So some of them made some like real exhibition projects, others organized events and discussions. Others thought about their own building, about their infrastructure to be more environmentally friendly there. So there are many different approaches, and you don't have to invest a lot of money. It's more an approach to think about it and what can we do in the small things, and also communicate it to our visitors that we about that.
Mm-hmm. Like the SDG is generally related with the sustainability itself. But then, just like you said, it's a very, very common word currently, but not everybody knows about the sustainable development goals. Still, having lots of projects and all. Did you actually face, any sort of challenges while involving these museums together?
Yeah, like we had the Graz Museum, and they said at first they got the goal life in water, life in the sea. And there was we're in Graz, the sea is very, very far away. So how can we put something into this? And then they realized exhibition, and they did so much, because in the process of thinking about that, they came to lots of ideas. And also, I think it was important to not just have the director, but we had the whole teams of museums. Like, not everybody was involved all the time, but you had people from different positions, like from education also, or from the PR departments. So that this turned out to be very, very good to work together, to discuss things together. And that was very much appreciated, to be not in the normal hierarchical structure you have normally in the museum, and have a kind of open space to discuss things. And then you say, okay, we have those and those ideas. Some of them we can't do, but maybe we can realize that. So this was kind of a process about that, process work.
All right. It sounds really interesting. Also seems very challenging too, right? Like, breaking the whole system of this hierarchical process. It must have been very, very challenging.
Yes, you don't turn everything around, of course, but it's a space where you have a special project, and then you can discuss a little bit in normal life. We don't overthrow anything, but I think that was a good experience, and many museums also said, let's work together on projects like this in the future also. And other museums who were not in the 17 chosen ones said, but we do something like that also. So maybe here we do projects with the SDGs, because in a way realize the SDGs, they might be with those 17 goals. It's easy to communicate to visitors, because you have not all the big problems of the world. It's all very complicated. You can say, we have those 17 goals, and let's talk about those. And then we can kind of put some order in it. And then you can say, maybe in this exhibition, we are talking about goal 3 and 7 and 14. And you can clearly communicate what you're doing.
Mhm. Thank you very much for this, insight. So besides this, I've already, like introduced you that not just you, everybody, that, you also have been actually initiating lots of series related with the looting and illicit trafficking of the cultural goods. So, this is kind of like a part of SDG itself. But then I think a lot of people don't know about this. Would you like to say something about this, subject?
Yes, I think it has been an ongoing problem, of course, for ages and ages, kind of. But especially during the times of crisis of the Arab Spring, with the crisis in Syria, in Libya, in Tunisia, it very much came kind of in the center of attention because the looting got like on an industrial scale, and it was done mostly to finance terrorism. So we had this big problem with ISIS and the terrorists, and they gained a lot of money from that. They had poor people working for them. It's, you have many poor people who don't really have a chance of any income in such a times of crisis. So they exploited them. And then they took the objects and tried to sell them on the gray, black international market. And with the money they financed the terrorism and also did a lot of terror attacks in the whole world and in Europe especially. So that came to big attention, and at that time, of course, we started the Palmyra talks to give more information from the scientific sides about the problem. And on the other side, we started working together with the OSCE, because big organizations realized that this terror financing problem is a big policing problem also, and we have to fight against that. And ready to invest also some money in doing workshops, in doing education for the police forces, which was very important, because you don't have the art historians or archaeologists. They know, but if somebody, a police officer, stands on the border and is checking the suitcases, and then suddenly he finds something, what is he gonna do? So it's important to really brief them, to give them some information, to give them like the ICOM red list, some basic information, but also on the higher ranks to really educate them whom they can contact, to build a network of experts they can contact from the museum side. And now we are really very much intertwined and networking with FBI, with the OECD, with different task forces, the Italian Carabinieri. Many forces are very active. So I think that's very successful, but still, of course, lots of work to do.
Mm-hmm. I do understand this, coming from a country like Nepal. So we have, faced a lot of trafficking in the past, not just in the past, it's ongoing process, and well, there is actually a talk, it's quite being discussed in the cultural society right now, that, the listing of the cultural heritage is actually boosting the trafficking itself. Because now these traffickers have a list which they can target, so, problems like that are also being discussed in our country. So what do you say about, this kind of things?
Of course, you can say, but on the other side, it's also, we see it's very important that the objects are inventoried, that you have pictures, that you have descriptions. And when those objects are in the open internationally, they're on websites, you can see them, it's very hard for the people to sell them, because international art market, you need some kind of provenance. Mostly they fake the provenance because they said, the great grandfather of my uncle's daughter had acquired these objects in the 1800s, and not true, of course. But when those objects appear, when you search for them on Google and you say, this is UNESCO heritage, it can't be sold on the international art market, then they have to pull them back. The big auction houses can't sell them, so it's hard to make money out of them. And I think that it's an important gesture to stop those criminals. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So even though it actually promotes trafficking, but then the actual art market doesn't actually accept products which are already being displayed worldwide.
Yeah.
This is amazing, right? So yes, please.
They will just steal objects that they can sell. It's just about the money, and we have big criminal organizations. We have kind of terrorist organizations on one side, and you have kind of mafia organizations on the other side. And the same interest they have is to make money out of that. And the more we put that in the open and show, no, you can't sell that stuff, we will confiscate it as soon as it comes to the European countries or to America or wherever you want to sell them. There are museum people looking at your lists of selling objects in the auctions. You can't do that, nobody knowing. So yes, we'll try.
So do you have any targeted, people or a group to whom you give these workshops and trainings for? Like you said before, it's like the security force around the borders. So besides them, are there any other potential groups who should be trained in this subject?
Yes, we do different levels. We have the Palmyra talks. This is the big format. We do that like for everybody interested. People from the museum world, museum professionals, but also maybe collectors or people who are just interested in the topic. And then we do special workshops in educating police forces, but also incorporating and educating government officials from the Ministry of Culture and so on, who work on that subject too, to get to know each other, to see what databases they have, what inventories they have. Because the more you work together on that level and the more you know each other, it's easier to communicate. And so it's a big task to do that on different levels.
Thank you so much for answering all these questions. Well, besides this, I prepared a few questions for you. Do you have any personal projects, that you are working on or that you want to work on in the future?
Yes, I have. I don't know if it's personal, but I'm working on a big conference, the ICOM International Bodensee Conference. Will we host in the middle of May? So together with ICOM Germany and ICOM Switzerland. So this is a big project for now. I'm very much looking forward to ICOM Prague, to the general conference, of course. I try to be active in the ICOM Europe board, in European projects, which wasn't that easy during COVID times. We hardly had an opportunity to meet in person, but we'll try to bring forward some international European projects also. And yes, that's the most important ones, I guess. Yes, and I'm doing a lot for those guidelines on colonialism. I think this is also a very, very important one where we on this year and next year.
So, can you share us what is your plan for the Prague, because it's coming very near? So, do you have any plans for that?
I registered yesterday, so yes, first step is done, and I'll see about the detailed program. I will of course see the meetings of my international committee, disaster-related topics in museums. I think it will be very beautiful in Prague. It's a beautiful city. It's nice to walk around, very safe, and on the other side has very good public transport, very nicely kind of 17th designed underground, which is fun to ride on, and really lots of museums, and I met the Czech colleagues lots of times normally during the year. And they're all very nice, very professional, and I think we will enjoy our time there. And from the topics to be discussed, I'm of course looking forward to the new ICOM museum definition, and I hope we'll succeed this year to put something forward we can all agree on. And I think this process is on a good way, and let's see what options we'll getting from the defining committee.
You seem to be very knowledgeable about Prague, I think that, we need to stick with you to go around. Like if anybody is going there, they will have better times.
When you're coming, and you can just ask me. No, it's really a nice city. It's very close to Vienna. So we just jump on the train, and in like 4.5 hours, we are in Prague. So we are very, very well connected. And Austria has a long tradition with our neighboring countries from the times of the monarchy. So many of our Czech colleagues even speak a bit of German, and we just speak a few words of Czech because I think it's very hard to pronounce. but everybody speaks English, and very nice little coffee houses and restaurants, and yes, a beautiful city you will enjoy.
All right. Thank you so much. Is Austria also very similar to Prague, that you are talking about, like the small tea houses and the heritage sites and all?
It's very close culturally, so we're kind of one of a kind, and yes, you will have to try the beer, and you have some cultural stuff. They will promote, of course, but yes, we are very.
So how, what's the distance between Vienna and then the Prague?
I'm not sure in kilometers, but you can go on the train, and it's like 4.5 hours.
Okay.
So it's very close. From Vienna is also, you can go to Bratislava. We are close with our colleagues from Slovakia. This is just an hour by train. And we also connect with Budapest, which is 3 hours to Vienna. So if you're in Prague, you're very well connected by train with this whole European. And it will be nice to explore. And you don't need a car, you can just go by train everywhere.
Okay, seems like we can have lots of elaborate plan if we go to Prague. Then yes, of course, to Vienna, and then the other places. Seems like people can have lots of elaborate plan with this.
Yes,
thank you very much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Well, with this, most of the questions that I've prepared for you are finished. And thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, as well as for your beautiful presentation. Also all these small these ideas about extending the plans and all. Thank you so much. So with this, now we have come to the question and answer session. And before proceeding through the session, I would like to introduce our attendees to you. So we have Buma ma'am. I think you know her. She is from Mongolia, and she is the president of the ICOM Mongolia National Committee. Similarly, we have Professor Dhan Kumar. So he is from Nepal, and he is the chairman of the National Ethnographic Museum of Nepal, and also the vice president of ICOM Nepal. We have Ozma Bhatti. She is an artist from Pakistan, and she is a member of ICOM Pakistan. Similarly, we have, let me see either they are here or not. So Shivani Banerjee, we can't see their faces right now. Well, Shivani, she is from India. She's a museologist and a member of ICOM India. We have, all right, Shivani, there she is. All right. So similarly, we have Mohammad Akhtar Javed, sir. You know him. So he is the member of the ICOM Pakistan, and not just that, the board member of the ICOM Asia Pacific. So with this, I would like to open the platform for all our attendees to interact with you. First, I would like to invite Ozma Bhatti to interact with you. Ozma.
Hello, ma'am. Elke. Hello. Anybody listen to me?
Yeah, we can listen to you.
Hi, Osma.
How are you? And thank you for being with us. I want to ask you about, I saw your picture with the portrait gallery. I want to ask you any journey about the portrait gallery. I want to know about him, that gallery.
I think the big museum I talked about, it's the Historische Museum, and it's the Museum of Art History in Vienna. It's one of the really big museums. It has a huge collection of paintings, but all kinds of other cultural arts. It has antiquities collections, also Egyptian collection, and there are also further museums associated with this. So it's one of the really big museums we have in Austria, beautifully situated in the center of Vienna, and worth a visit, of course, anytime. Yes.
I want to ask you, is there any contemporary exhibition held there, or any other connected with the collaboration with other country artists also?
That's mostly not contemporary work. We have contemporary art in different museums in Austria. We have maybe the Albertina, who's active there. We have maybe the MAC, the Sezession. We have different museums, but the Kunsthistorische is more for like the classical art. But the museum scene in Vienna is pretty big. There are lots of specialized museums. So, and some of them, so lots of them also work for contemporary art and also with international artists, of course.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Osma. Well, I would like to share with you, as well as the other artists, that, Madam Kellner here. So she actually began her career as an assistant to the director at the MAC, Austrian Museum of Applied Arts. That's the contemporary arts in Vienna. And she also was, involved in lots of curatorial projects for the Vienna Art Week and TBA 21. So I think a lot of artists would love to connect with Ma'am Elke for these reasons. It's not that she is only involved in the museum, but also has a lot of very deep connection with the art too, right? Well, thank you very much, Osma, for your questions. Next, I would like to invite Shivani to interact with Madam Elke. So Shivani, she is a museologist. She's from India. Well, Shivani, if you have any questions, you are welcome.
I have some questions. Question ka aa jaya, just as I want to ask you something for my learning and knowledge. Can you give the assumption in the Baroque period Slavic and the Hungarian folk form, sorry.
Folk dance. I'm not a specialist.
Folk form.
Sorry?
Yes. Please continue.
Yes. We are in touch with the Hungarian colleagues at the conferences. We don't have very good connections, I must say, because the political situation in Hungary is not easy for museum people at the moment. Lots of small museums are struggling because you have the Orban government, which is not very willing to respect different opinions. So museum people kind of have a hard time in Hungary at the moment. And with folk dances or a rural tradition, I know there are some museums that task on with that, and would be interesting to think about that. But we are not in very close contact at the moment.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Any questions? Any other questions, Shivani?
No.
Thank you so much. Next.
Any poetry, Shivani?
You are muted,
Okay.
Shivani.
Yes. Okay, I will.
Okay, a poetry in the name of Miss Elke.
Well,
But but
Yeah.
just please give me 1 minute.
Sure, sure. You know, we can, till then, we can actually invite Ma'am
Yes.
Buma
Yes.
to
Yes.
interact
Yes.
with Miss Elke.
Yes.
Madam Buma?
Yes. Hello, nice to have you today. And it was interesting to know about your projects. And I want to ask, do you organize International Museum Day in your country, organize museums? Probably you give information to them, yes? In what work do you do for this, for all museums, or how you working to organize this International Museum Day? Of course, we in Mongolia, our most main work with organizing International Museum Day. We providing information and writing emails and contacting with all museums. No, not all museums, mostly with museums in capital city and province museums. Not yet, but private museums and galleries, not yet. Yes.
yes, I must say we are a pretty big committee already, and we have a long tradition in Austria. So we have more than 2,600 members at the moment. We are in touch on the one side with the museum professionals and on the other side, many institutions, many museums are already member with us.
Okay.
And we also have a system to have a certification for museums in Austria, to have a guidelines for them. We meet up regularly. We have like an Austrian Museum Day where we have lectures and everybody comes together once a year. So this is a good platform to do something where people can meet in person and to exchange information and get to talk to each other from the big museums and the small museums and different kind of professions also. I think it's good to do some talks or events like this to get everybody together and tell them a little more about ICOM and what we're doing and why it's important to be part of this international family. But I heard a lot about ICOM Mongolia already, yes.
Also, it's very interesting to know about how you're dealing with traffic of the objects, because mid of 2000, we had many incident or traffic. We was stolen many objects from National Museum of Mongolia, and we still not found.
Yes.
Because we have this China and big country, we don't know where is this objects. Still, it's very difficult.
Yes.
No, we had a workshop by Monaco government. This from France and Italy, Carbonieri came to Mongolia, several workshops, but I think something stopped. This could, of course, very important job for ICOM committee.
Yes, yes. Yes, I heard my colleagues were at the workshop from the OECD in Mongolia in 2019.
Yes, yes.
And that was very important, but because of the COVID crisis, it was very difficult now to get in touch with many international people. It was difficult to travel, but we should stay in touch and if you have any information about objects you're missing or further cooperation, we can work together. I would very much look forward to do that. And I know my colleagues from OSCE told me about the workshop in Mongolia and that it was really good. So you have to stay on that topic, and it's important to have those international relations to share about what objects are missing, documentation on it. So when an object appears on the international art market, and then we say, it might be from Mongolia. So we know we can contact Ms. Buma and say, might this be an object of yours? So we have the direct contact. That would be very good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Buma.
Yes, thank you.
Next, I would like to invite Dr. Tan to interact with Madam Elke.
Hi, namaste. Namaste, Elke Kellner.
Namaste.
Good morning. Good afternoon, perhaps there, right? Now, good afternoon there. Good afternoon here. Do you understand?
I did not hear you very well from the audio connection. Just bits and pieces, maybe.
Okay. Good afternoon there.
Yes.
Good evening here. Very nice presentation. Actually, I don't have any question, but you presented clear and interesting about the interesting presentation about the Vienna. That is very interesting what you have told. I mean, I asked many questions and you explained all that. So almost that was clear. So, but Vienna, I remember I have been there in June 2014. I stayed there 3 days. So I stayed in Vienna and I have moved around because there was a program in Modular University. In the upper side. I have been there. So at that time, I have been there, very beautiful, but very artistic also. Vienna city also very interesting, but very small, I think so. It is not so big. I thought that was very interesting. So when I was thinking, because Vienna about Hitler, the book of Hitler. I have read about that, so I have heard that country name of the. And they're really very interesting country, and I moved around there. I saw many arts of medieval period, many arts around Vienna area, very beautiful, beautifully carved. And but I forgot the name. Many names were there in different part of the country, the city. There were the pattern or in the same almost. I thought that when I saw that was the pattern of the housing were in the same pattern. Palace or houses were in same pattern, but mostly different. I saw a different thing is what is Christian. Christian church, like that church were very interesting. Inside that, I saw that type of churches in the mid of the city, very interestingly carved and beautiful and artistic also. So anyway, I don't have to ask any question about that. What you have told about this museum, you have told very clearly, very short, very clear. So anyway, you came in this forum. It's very nice to see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Very nice to hear about your experiences in Austria. Glad you enjoyed it. Yes, very, very culturally diverse, lots of different museums, lots of beautiful buildings and sites. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for your kind words. I'm very honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tan. Next, I would like to invite Momo Dr. Javed sir to interact with Madam Elke.
Yeah, thank you, Meena. You see, the people today are very nice. They are not putting many questions to her because because of her complete presentation, which she has shown to us. You see, that's a excellent presentation. So I believe that. But we must listen Shivani poem first. You see,
Yes.
Shivani, are you ready?
Whenever you are ready.
Akhtar sir,
You're
Mohammad sir has been a fan of Shivani's shairi.
okay, Shivani.
Okay, go on.
It's my pleasure,
Go ahead.
You have to translate it too also, okay?
Okay.
It's
Okay.
too difficult. You know
Okay.
that.
Okay.
We will try.
No.
We will try to translate it for Madam Elke.
Okay, sir. For ma'am,
Yeah,
may I?
definitely. It's not for me. It's for madam.
Okay. कूचे से तेरे होके
Which is?
कूचे से तेरे होके
Kuche ke teri hoke. I mean, pass your street. Okay.
हाँ
Kuche se
कूचे
teri
से
hoke.
तेरे होके
Yeah.
जो खुश रंग आ गए
There's more colors are coming in. Yes, okay.
yes
By
ऐसा
passing your
लगा कि
street, more colors are coming in. Okay.
ऐसा लगा कि जीत के कोई जंग आ गए
क्या दोबारा बताओ मुकर्रर
ऐसा
Wrong
लगा कि
number.
ऐसा लगा कि जीत के कोई जंग आ गए
it's like that you are won some war. Okay, that's of course this loving one. When you meet loving one, you have colors in your street, and it is looks like that you have won your loved one. You see, so you are so happy in that. So this is the
yes, it belongs
extract
to
of
joy
this.
of heart
Yeah.
yes.
Thank you.
This line belongs to joy of heart the happiness of heart
Happiness of heart. So you say this is for you, okay?
Much.
LK,
Thank
this
you
is
so
for
much.
you. She met you.
Wonderful.
खुशबू
Very-
लुटाने खुशबू लुटाने जो तेरे कूचे गए थे हम
हाँ,
खुशबू लुटाने जो तेरे कूचे गए थे हम
हाँ.
लेकर के उल्टा तेरी ही महक आ गए
Wow, 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 wow. You say that she was trying to steal a flower from your street. So when she went over there, so she got your adore. That's an
Fragrance.
excellent adore. So she took that and forget about the flower. You see? So, wow, yeah. Very nice, Shivani. Very nice poem.
Thank you sir
Thank you so
Where is
much. It's really-
Aditya? Where is Aditya, by the way?
Aditya are going for a work on outside
Oh, he is playing out little bit. Why you have said something to him?
Always he's going out.
Right me. So that's very Elke. They are very good couple. You see, they Aditya and Shivani. They live in India in Nainital. Nainital is in north of India, and it's beautiful place. And they are passing through now snowfalls. You see, they have presently have a snowfall over there. So definitely, I love them. I love them because they are very nice. One is archaeologist. Yes, one is archaeologist, and other one. Shivani, what you do?
I am doing meteorology
Museologist. She is museologist. So it's an excellent combination. You see, they both couples are living and very nicely. But one day, Shivani, we have to go to her kucha.
why not
In
sure
Austria.
please welcome
Kucha means
Please.
street. Kucha means street. I am asking her one day we have to go to the street of Elke Kellner. You see.
yes
So make a program, okay?
Okay.
That's
Or
great.
Javed sir, as
Yes.
already suggested before,
Yeah.
go to Prague and then, find Elke ma'am and then stick with her all the way.
Yeah, that's it. So, very nice. Thank you very much indeed, Shivani, and thank you very much,
It's my pleasure, sir.
Elke. I'm so obliged and impressed with your today presentation, and I wonder if the similar presentation can be presented in day two, on day two in group 6, where you said you are not present any presentation, and we accepted it broadly, and we said okay.
I'll do some more on that. Yes, yes.
So the similar presentation can be in the day on day second if you like, because it's the smallest and also very meaningful. Joseph, I have seen it's totally define your present currently working in the ICOM Austria, and I'm really thankful for your presence here. And I believe that interaction with these people, so they will remember for their lifetime that they met Elke Kellner and they learned something out of her. You see, so definitely I'm trying that this ICOM. Family Forum will be able to cover the conference, this Prague conference. And Meena Alama, she has applied for grant in a young people grants youth. So hopefully, I believe that she will get it and she will be there and she will meet you there. And she will also make few requests to tell her about the conference. You see what is going on. You see, so it will be a live sort of interview. So we will be recording here, and we will be showing live to our participants here in ICOM Family Forum, and she will be transferring us the data, whatever she is doing over there. So I hope she will enjoy your company over there too. And definitely we all will be here and we will listen to you. But these two sessions are very important. There are young people, they belong to different countries, and definitely one is from Paraguay, you see. So it's entirely different timings. So they have the opposite. We have a day, they have a night. We have a night, they have a day. So this is what, although they have a different timing, but they took so interest that they want to come and present their skills and their knowledge and all these things, and they want to share something with us. So why not? Why not? So we must love them. You see, we are doing that, and we must love them. And I'm thankful for your time you have spared for us, and also I think these whole participants are here, or this program will be uploaded to YouTube. You see, this movie will be uploaded to YouTube, and several people, they are busy and they are working and they cannot join us. They go to that YouTube and they watch that program, these programs. So of course they do watch, because they are all belongs to museums, and you see ICOM, and they're member for many are member of ICOM. So everyone here is a member of ICOM. So definitely they have the interest and they do watch. So they will see what we will be talking and what you are presenting, and that, so they will enjoy it. They will also learn a few things, and with these things we know each other. We share the things and we know each other. So this practice, which is started not because I am alone here. It is this practice has started because you have put in some efforts in it. So you accepted that things, and many friends have accepted that. Particularly Bhuma, she is Bhuma, Shiri, and then Dr. Dhan and Dr. Sufi and the different icons. You see, almost if I count, then I will say that we have 64 national committees. Those have come together and joined the hand, and we had these 8 sessions. You can believe this 8 groups, and each group has 4 sessions. So what a miracle, you see. So we are almost close to completion there. So this miracle has happened because every one of us was keen to you see, make the things viable. So on top, if I will count, then you, Golisbai, Shiri, and Martina, and this Ruxana David from Pakistan. She is now president of ICOM Pakistan. So, and Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, many, and she's like, if I start counting, then I think our time will be in that to go into that exercise. But definitely this 1 hour, your 1 hour dedication to us and to ICOM Family Forum will be an example, you see. And we will remember it for all the time, whether you are associated with ICOM or not, whether you are associated with us or not, but we keep friends. We keep friends. We don't care for anything else, but we keep friends. When you keep friends, then you get everything. There is nothing you lose, you see. So this the first thing is that to keep friends. So we keep friends. So that means wherever you go, we will be with you and you will be with us. So we will be keep doing what is in your brain to do, come up from your brain to do the things, and whatever we suggest, or this is a cooperation and coordination, and then we win, you see, in the society, you see. So we are on a winning path. Yes. We are coming together and we are on a winning path. So I believe that your 2 sessions is coming, day 1 and day 2, session 04. So in group 06 for a youth, that will be excellent in on 15th and 16th March. Yes. So the time you will suggest, you said 2 o'clock is all right. 2 o'clock Pakistani is all right. If you want 5 o'clock, that's similar to today. We can change that time too. So this is up to you. So whatever the convenience to you. Okay. So
All right, thank you.
yeah, thank you very much indeed. And Meena, over to you.
Thank you very much, Javed sir. Madam Elke, if you have any, thoughts or any words that you would like to impart with the youths as well as the professionals, please.
Just let me thank you again for all your questions, for your interest in our work, for giving me the opportunity to talk to you, get to know you a little bit. It has been really, really great. I enjoyed it very much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to invite me here today. I really, really enjoyed the time spent with you. I hope we see at least some of you in Prague to maybe meet in person. I'm happy to show you around, Meena. Thank you so much for everything you did today and organize all that. We'll stay in touch, and I'm very happy to cooperate. And I think this ICOM family is a really great initiative. So I very much appreciate it. And I'm very much looking forward to those 2 days of lectures I'm invited to chair, so this will be very interesting about the input the young people, young ICOM members have. So I'm really very much looking forward to that. And thank you so much again for having me.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Actually, right. I actually must say this, like this is the first program where we are actually talking about the illicit trafficking. We have been talking a lot about the cultural heritage before, but then in a completely different context, and you being here and then, sharing with us about the illicit trafficking and the projects that you are doing, the training works. It's very, exciting, and not just that, inspiring too. I think, a lot of people here in the family forum, as well as, the presentation group, they would love to hear from you, like how they can address this specific problem, because the, looting of cultural heritage is almost like, first incident that happens in every other country, and it would be nice that if they could actually understand about like how to tackle this sort of problems. And we look forward to see you again with the similar subjects. Thank you so much, ma'am. Well, with this we have come to the end of today's informal talk show. Yes.
I mean, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
It's okay, no worries.
I want to say about to Javed sir. Javed sir is a one U-pin, just like as a U-pin. वो मतलब कि बहुत सारे पन्नों को जो एक U-pin जोड़ती है ना सर. You are just like a U-pin to find so many pages in a pin.
Stop flirting, okay?
That's not flirting, Javed sir. She's encouraging you to find us more professionals.
Oh, yeah.
Flirting is the Aditya's department, not mine.
This, I'm sorry, Shivani, you put him in kitchen for cooking. This is wrong. You see, in this time, you should not do that.
Today was my market duty, sir. Today was my market duty. I thought like after Elke ma'am, she finishes, I'll flirt with her a little bit. But I was in the market flirting with the vegetable sellers.
Yeah. Okay, we must say goodbye to Elke. That's definitely, she is a very busy woman, I believe. So she must have another engagements too. So
you are beautiful.
And
yeah.
goodbye, everybody. It was great seeing you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ma'am. Well, let me inform you all that we have another informal talk session on Sunday, February 20th, 2022. So we have invited Ms. Gulbara from Czech Republic. So we would love to see you all again, in the informal talk show. So with this, I would like to sign off and say goodbye and good day to you all. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye, everyone in February.
Thank you very much, Javed sir. Let me send you
Yeah,
the post.
or either I can also ask you first. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Javed
Okay.
sir. I actually enjoyed today's talk.
Oh, okay,
Highly.
that's great. You see, I really like that some people like Elke and other senior peoples in ICOM, they must come on our show. But why we must be punctual a little bit. You see, we are taking that recording as a grant. That okay, well, I will see that recording, no problem. But you see, you must have interaction that she should know that Shivani has recited a poem for her. You see, that she will be remembered for lifetime that she recited it. If Shivani is not here, then she will not know that who is Shivani. You see, so you 100 times you see her video, but she will not be knowing you. So but this is why we request all participants, our people who are associated with us, please keep on joining us for only 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or 30 minutes, or if you can go on for hour and half an hour, fine, no problem at all. But even 10 minutes presence is a lot, that you can at least be introduced with the guest we have called for you people. So we are not calling for myself, you see, the way I'm not calling for myself them, because it's when I already know them and they already know me. So it is for you people, you see. So you must be regular and think about it. Okay then.
Okay.
Okay, bye bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much, Javed sir. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Goodbye. Okay, ending that.